The cold street and the tiny dragon. The street was cold. Not just cold from weather, but cold from people. In the far edge of a human space city, metal roads shined under white lights. Machines moved fast. Humans walked faster. Everyone had somewhere to go. No one stopped. No one looked down. No one noticed the tiny dragon baby sitting near a broken wall. He was very small, smaller than a human child. His wings were folded tight, cracked at the edges. His red scales were dull, covered with dust and scratches. A thin tail rested on the ground, barely moving. His name was Kale. In front of him was a small cloth. On it lay a few toys. Old toys, broken toys, a robot with one arm missing, a soft cube with burned corners, a metal ring that did not shine anymore. Kale picked up the robot and fixed it carefully. His claws were gentle. He placed it back and waited. Toy, cheap toy. His voice was soft, weak, almost lost in the noise of the city. Humans passed by. Some looked at him and walked faster. Some stared for a second, then turned away. A few whispered words like monster or dragon. Kale heard them all. He pulled his wings closer to his body. Dragons were strong. Dragons were feared. That was what stories said. But Kale was not strong. He was cold and very hungry. His stomach hurt. It had been hurting since yesterday, or maybe longer. He did not remember clearly. He looked at the sky above the city. It was not a real sky, just a metal ceiling with fake stars. No sun, no warmth. He remembered a different sky. Long ago, there was fire and light. A warm voice, big wings around him. A mother. Kale shook his head. He did not want to remember. Memories made the hunger worse. A human child stopped near him. Is it real? The child asked. The child's parent pulled him back quickly. Don't go near that thing. Kale lowered his head. He understood. Dragons caused wars. Dragons burned worlds. That was what humans believed. But Kale had never burned anything on purpose. He lifted a small metal ring from the cloth. This toy was different. He held it close for a moment. The ring was warm, not from heat, but from memory. His mother gave it to him before everything ended. He placed it back slowly. He would sell it last. Very last. The cold grew stronger as time passed. The lights became brighter. Night cycle in the city had started. Kale's fire was weak. Dragons use fire to stay warm, but his flame was small. Tiny sparks came from his mouth, then stopped. It was not enough. A human man walked close. Kale's heart jumped. The man looked down at the toys. Kale straightened his back and spoke again. Toy for food or coin. The man did not answer. He only stared. Kale waited. Seconds felt heavy. Then a man shook his head and walked away. Kale's shoulders dropped. Another human stopped. This one laughed. A dragon selling toys. That's funny. The human left. Kale blinked slowly. His eyes burned. Dragons did not cry easily, but Kale was still a baby. He picked up the soft cube toy and hugged it for a second. Then he placed it back like it was something bad to hold for too long. His body felt tired. His wings shook. He leaned against the wall. Just one more, he whispered. One more human. Time passed. No one stopped. The cold entered his bones. His tail stopped moving. His vision became blurry. Then something changed. A shadow fell over the cloth. Kale looked up quickly, fear filling his chest. A soldier? A hunter? His body tensed, ready to run. But he had no strength left. It was a human man, not in armor, not holding a weapon, just a long coat and tired eyes. The man did not speak at first. He crouched down slowly, so he was closer to Kale's level. Kale's claws dug into the ground. Dragons learned early to be afraid of humans. The man looked at the toys. One by one, he picked up the broken robot, turned it in his hand. You fixed this, the man said quietly. Kale nodded. Yes, I try. The man looked at Kale's wings, at the scars, at the thin body. How old are you? The man asked. Kale did not know the number. Small, he answered. The man smiled, but there was sadness in it. Kale reached for the metal ring. His voice shook. This good toy. The man's hand stopped in the air. He looked at the ring, then at Kale's eyes. No, the man said softly. That one is not for sale. Kale froze. Humans always wanted the best thing. The man placed the robot back on the cloth. You should keep that, he said. Kale did not understand. His heart beat fast. The man stood up slowly. For a moment, Kale thought he would leave like the others. But the man did not walk away. He stayed. And for the first time in a very long time, someone did not turn his back on the tiny dragon. The human who did not walk away. The man did not leave. That was the first strange thing. Kale watched him carefully. Humans always walked away. Some were afraid. Some were cruel. Some did not care. But this human stayed, standing in the cold street like he had nowhere else to go. The man pulled his coat tighter and looked around. The city was loud, but this small corner felt quiet. Forgotten. You are freezing, the man said. Kale did not answer. Dragons were taught one rule from birth. Never trust a human. Kale's claws tightened on the ground. His wings twitched, ready to move if the man tried anything. The man noticed. It's okay, he said calmly. I'm not here to hurt you. Humans said many things. Kale had learned that words were cheap. The man slowly took out a small food pack from his pocket. He placed it on the ground, far enough that Kale could run if he wanted. I won't come closer, the man said. Kale's eyes locked on the food. His stomach growled loudly. He hated that sound. The man heard it too, but he did not smile. He did not laugh. You don't need to talk, the man said. Just eat. Kale stared. His fire flickered weakly inside his chest. Hunger fought with fear. After a long moment, Kale moved. Slow. Careful. He picked up the food pack and stepped back quickly. He opened it with shaking claws and took a small bite. Warmth spread in his mouth. Real food. Not trash. Not scraps. Kale's eyes widened. He ate slowly at first, then faster. Too fast. He coughed, sparks jumping from his mouth. The man did not panic. Easy, he said. Slow. Kale forced himself to stop. He looked up, embarrassed. Dragons were proud creatures. But Kale felt small. The man sat down on the cold ground, a few steps away. What's your name? He asked. Kale hesitated. Names have power. Kale. The man nodded. I'm Ethan. Kale repeated the name in his head. Ethan. A human name. Ethan looked at Kale's toys again. You sell these every day? Kale nodded. For food. And before that? Ethan asked. Kale's tail curled around his leg. I wait. The answer was simple. Too simple. Ethan's jaw tightened. He looked away for a second, then back at Kale. Where's your family? Kale went still. The cold suddenly felt sharper. Gone, Kale said quietly. Ethan understood that word very well. A loud sound echoed in the distance. A patrol drone flew across the street, blue lights flashing. Kale flinched hard, wings spreading by instinct. Ethan noticed. You're scared of them, Ethan said. They hunt dragons, Kale whispered. That was a long time ago, Ethan said. Kale shook his head. Not for me. Ethan said nothing. The drone passed. The noise faded. Kale slowly folded his wings again. Ethan looked at Kale's arms, at the burn marks that were not from fire, at the thin scales stretched over bone. Who did this to you? Ethan asked. Kale did not answer. Silence filled the space between them. Kale finished the food and placed the empty pack carefully on the ground, like it was something important. Thank you, he said. Ethan smiled, but did not reach his eyes. You shouldn't be here alone, Ethan said. Kale looked down. I don't have place. Ethan stood up and held out his hand. Come with me, he said. Kale froze. Every story ended badly after those words. I can't, Kale said. Ethan did not push. He lowered his hand. That's okay, he said. I'll walk with you then. Kale blinked. Walk where? Anywhere that's warmer, Ethan replied. They walked slowly through the street. Humans stared. Some whispered. Some pointed. Ethan stayed close to Kale, like a wall between him and the world. Kale noticed something strange. Humans did not come too close. Not because of Kale. Because of Ethan. At the edge of the city block, Kale's legs gave out. He stumbled and fell to one knee. I'm fine, he said quickly. But he was not. Ethan caught him before he hit the ground. Kale felt it then. Warmth. Not fire. Not magic. Human warmth. His body reacted on its own. His eyes closed. His fire sparked wildly, then faded. Ethan swore softly. Hey, stay with me, Ethan said. Kale tried to speak, but the darkness pulled him down. The last thing Kale heard was Ethan's voice, full of fear. Don't let them find you, Ethan whispered. Far above them, a hidden sensor lit up. Dragon energy detected. Red letters blinked in the dark. The night, he almost disappeared. Kale was falling. Not to the ground. Not into fire. He was falling into darkness. His small body felt heavy. His wings would not move. The cold street faded from his sight, but the cold stayed inside him. Ethan held him tightly. "Stay awake," Ethan said. "Please just stay awake." Kale heard the voice, but it sounded far away, like a dream that did not want to stay. His fire flickered once inside his chest. Then it went quiet. That scared Ethan more than anything. Dragons live by fire. If the fire stopped, the dragon stopped. Ethan did not think. He did not wait. He wrapped Kale inside his coat and started moving fast through the narrow streets. People stared. A man carrying a dragon child was not normal. But Ethan did not care. He felt Kale shaking. Small, weak shakes. Too weak. "It's okay," Ethan whispered, even though he was not sure it was true. "I've got you." Above them, hidden cameras tracked movement. Sensors listened. The city was always watching. Ethan turned sharply into an old service tunnel. The lights flickered. The air smelled of dust and metal. He reached a small door and pressed his hand against the scanner. The door opened with a low sound. Inside was a tiny room. Old, warm, safe. Ethan laid Kale on a small bed near a heater. The heat filled the room slowly. Kale did not wake up. Ethan checked Kale's chest. It moved. Barely. "Come on, little guy," Ethan muttered. "Breathe." Kale's scales were ice cold. Ethan rubbed his hands together and placed them gently on Kale's chest. Human warmth. Slow. Steady. Kale's fire reacted. A tiny spark jumped out of Kale's mouth. Then another. Weak but alive. Ethan let out a breath he did not know he was holding. Minutes passed. Then Kale moved. His eyes opened suddenly. Wide. Full of fear. He screamed. Fire exploded from his mouth. Not strong, but wild. The heater burst. Sparks filled the room. Ethan stepped back, hands up. Hey, it's okay," he shouted. "You're safe." Kale scrambled back, wings spreading. His claws scratched the wall. "Don't hurt me," Kale cried. "I won't," Ethan said quickly. "I swear." Kale's fire flickered again, then died. His body shook hard. Ethan slowly sat down on the floor, keeping distance. "You passed out," Ethan said calmly. "You were freezing." Kale looked around. The small room. The warm air. No soldiers. No chains. "Where is this?" Kale asked. "My place," Ethan replied. "It's not much, but it's warm." Kale hugged his knees. "Humans take dragons," he said. "They lock them. They test them." Ethan's face darkened. "That used to happen," he said. "And it was wrong." Kale looked at him. "Why help me?" The question hit Ethan harder than any weapon. He thought of empty rooms, silent nights, loss he never spoke about. "Because someone should have helped you sooner," Ethan said quietly. Kale did not answer. He felt something strange. His body was warm. His stomach was not empty. His fire felt calm. That scared him. Dragons were not supposed to feel safe with humans. A sharp beep broke the silence. Ethan froze. A small screen on the wall lit up. Unregistered energy spike detected. Kale's heart raced. "They found me," Kale whispered. Ethan moved fast. He shut off the heater, cut the lights, covered Kale with a thick blanket. "Listen to me," Ethan said in a low voice. No fire. No sound. Kale nodded, fear locking his throat. Outside, boots echoed. Heavy. Many. A voice spoke through a speaker. "This area is under inspection." Ethan stepped in front of Kale without thinking. The door shook as someone tested it. "Sir," the voice said, "open the door." Ethan's hand clenched into a fist. Behind him, Kale's fire flared. Not wild. Focused. Protective. Kale did not understand it, but his body chose. Ethan turned slightly and saw the glow under the blanket. "No," Ethan whispered. "Not yet." The door shook again. Stronger this time. Kale's eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to disappear," he said. Ethan swallowed hard. "You won't," he said. He stood tall, and for the first time in many years, Ethan was ready to stand against the world. When the world wanted him gone, the knock came again. Loud, heavy, angry. Kale's whole body froze. Every sound outside felt like a countdown. Boots moved. Weapons clicked. Cold voices spoke in short commands. Humans were everywhere now. They found me, Kale whispered. His small fire glowed under the blanket, shaking like his heart. Dragons were not taught fear, but Kale had learned it very well. Ethan stood in front of the door. He did not look back. He did not run. He did not hide. He just stood there. Sir, a voice said through the speaker. Open the door immediately. Ethan took a slow breath. He remembered the rules, the laws, the warnings. Dragon life forms are unstable. Do not shelter them. Report immediately. Ethan reached for the door panel. Behind him, Kale whispered, Please don't let them take me. That voice broke something inside Ethan. He pressed the button. The door opened. 2 soldiers stood outside. Black armor, cold eyes. Their weapons were ready, pointed slightly down, but not enough. We detected dragon energy, one soldier said. Where is it? Ethan met their eyes. There is no dragon here, he said. The soldiers stepped forward. We can scan the room, the second soldier replied. Kale held his breath. His claws dug into the blanket. His fire tried to rise, but he forced it down. He remembered Ethan's words. No fire, no sound. The scanner beeped once, then stopped. The soldier frowned. Energy readings dropped, he said. Ethan's heart pounded, but his face stayed calm. The first soldier looked around the small room. Aren't you scared? He asked Ethan. Dragons kill humans. Ethan did not shout. He did not argue. He simply said, This one didn't. The soldiers paused. That thing will grow, the second soldier said. It will become dangerous. Ethan shook his head slowly. Danger is taught, he said. So is kindness. The first soldier laughed. You sound foolish. Maybe, Ethan replied. But I'm still standing. The silence grew heavy. Finally, the soldiers stepped back. If the dragon shows again, one said, we will return. The door closed. The footsteps faded. Only then did Ethan's knees feel weak. He turned around. Kale sat up slowly, eyes wide with shock. They left, Kale said. Yes, Ethan answered. For now. Kale stared at him. You lied for me. Yes. You risked your life. Yes. Kale's voice shook. Why? Ethan sat down in front of him. At eye level. Because you're a child, Ethan said. And children deserve safety. Kale's fire calmed. His wings lowered. His shoulders shook. I was alone, Kale said. For so long. Ethan nodded. I know that feeling. Kale looked at the floor. If I stay, they will hurt you. Ethan was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something Kale never expected. Then I will stand in their way. Kale's eyes filled with tears. No one had ever stood in front of him before. Ethan handed Kale a warm drink. Sleep, he said. You're safe tonight. Kale held the cup with both claws. Humans hate dragons, Kale whispered. Ethan shook his head. No, he said. Humans fear what they don't understand. Kale drank slowly. Warmth spread through him. Not just in his body, but somewhere deeper. For the first time, Kale slept without fear. But outside the city block, far above the lights, a command signal was sent. Dragon survival confirmed. Escalation approved. This time they would not knock. And Kale's fire, deep inside him, began to change. A father's choice. The city did not sleep. Above the streets, satellites turned slowly. Data moved fast. Red warnings passed from one screen to another. Dragon's survival confirmed. Location locked. Inside the small room, Kale slept. His breathing was slow. His body was warm. His fire burned low and steady, like a quiet promise. Ethan did not sleep. He sat near the door, back against the wall, eyes open. A small tool rested in his hand. Not a weapon, just habit. He watched Kale. The tiny dragon curled under the blanket. One wing moved in his sleep. A soft sound came from his throat. Not fear, not pain, peace. Ethan felt something heavy in his chest. He had lost many things in his life. Dreams, family, purpose. But he had never lost his courage. A sharp sound cut through the silence. Not a knock, a warning. Ethan stood up instantly. Outside, engines hummed. Not patrol drones this time. Bigger, stronger. Kale woke up. He sat up fast, eyes wide. They came back, he said. Yes, Ethan replied. And they won't leave again. Kale's fire rose. Blue this time. Not wild. Focused. I can fight, Kale said. I don't want them to hurt you. Ethan knelt in front of him, and placed a hand gently on Kale's chest. No, Ethan said firmly. Not like this. Kale shook his head. Dragons only survive by fighting. That's what the world taught you, Ethan said. Not what you are. A loud crash echoed above them. The building shook. A voice boomed through external speakers. Open the door. This is your final warning. Kale trembled. They will kill me, he whispered. Ethan looked straight at him. No, he said. They won't. Ethan turned toward the door and activated the main screen. A symbol appeared. Official. Legal. Kale stared. What is that? Kale asked. Ethan took a deep breath. It's a claim, he said. A human protection claim. Kale did not understand. Ethan spoke clearly, his voice steady. I am registering guardianship. Outside, soldiers prepared breaching tools. Inside, the system processed Ethan's words. Human guardianship of non-human life forms is restricted, the system replied. I know, Ethan said. Override code E117. The system paused. Kale's heart raced. You can't do that, Kale said. They will punish you. Ethan smiled softly. They already did, he said. Years ago. A loud beep filled the room. Guardianship request accepted. Status: temporary protection active. Outside, the soldiers froze. What? One of them said. Their screens updated. Subject classified as dependent. Lethal force denied. The commander clenched his jaw. Who did this? He demanded. Inside, Kale stared at Ethan. You protected me, Kale said. Ethan turned back to him. No, he corrected gently. I claimed you. The door shook as the commander spoke again. Sir, the voice said, controlled but angry. You are violating multiple safety laws. Ethan stepped closer to the door. Then arrest me, he said, but you will not touch my son. Silence fell. The word echoed inside Kale's mind. My son. No dragon had ever called him that. No one had ever chosen him. Kale's fire changed. Not brighter. Deeper. The soldiers pulled back. Orders changed. Whispers spread. This is not over, the commander said. The council will hear about this. Ethan replied calmly. Good. They should. The engines faded. Kale's legs gave out. He sat down hard, shaking. Ethan rushed to him and held him. Kale clutched Ethan's coat. You didn't have to, Kale said. I am dangerous. Ethan held him tighter. You're a child, he said, and you are not alone anymore. Kale cried. Not from fear, from relief. For the first time, Kale understood something important. Dragons were strong by fire. Humans were strong by choice. Outside the city, far beyond the lights, ancient eyes opened. Other dragons felt the change. A dragon child had been claimed by a human, and the universe had noticed. The dragon who learned to smile. Morning came quietly. No alarms. No soldiers. No fear. Soft light entered the small room through a cracked window. Kale opened his eyes slowly. For a moment, he did not move. He listened. No boots. No shouting. No cold metal sounds. Only a low hum from the heater. Kale sat up. He was still there. Warm. Safe. Ethan was asleep on a chair near the door. His head leaned to one side. Dark circles rested under his eyes. He looked tired but calm. Kale watched him. This human had stood against weapons. Against laws. Against fear. For him, Kale's fire stirred inside his chest. Not hot. Not angry. It felt soft. Kale slid off the bed quietly. His feet touched the floor. It did not hurt. He stretched his wings carefully. They felt stronger. He walked toward the small mirror on the wall and stopped. The dragon in the mirror looked different. Still small. Still thin. But his eyes were not empty anymore. Ethan woke up. He reached for the tool near his hand, then relaxed when he saw Kale standing. Good morning, Ethan said. Kale hesitated. Good morning, he replied. Ethan stood and handed him a warm food pack. You need energy, Ethan said. Kale ate slowly. He did not rush. He did not hide. Ethan watched him with a soft smile. After breakfast, Ethan gave Kale something unexpected. Clothes. Simple clothes. Made for warmth. Kale touched them carefully. For me? Yes, Ethan replied. You're staying. The words settled deep inside Kale. Staying. Not hiding. Not running. Staying. They walked outside later, to a quiet upper level where few people came. Kale stayed close to Ethan. Humans stared. Some whispered, but no one attacked. Ethan's hand rested lightly on Kale's shoulder. A shield made of nothing but choice. Kale noticed something strange. His fire did not react with fear anymore. It stayed calm. A child nearby dropped a small toy. It rolled toward Kale's feet. Kale froze. The child looked up and smiled. "Can you give it back?" the child asked. Kale slowly picked up the toy and handed it over. The child laughed. "Thank you," and ran away. Kale stood still. Ethan watched him carefully. "They're not afraid," Kale said quietly. "Some are learning," Ethan replied. That night, Kale had a dream. He stood in fire. Big fire. Ancient fire. Dragons circled above him. Massive wings. Burning eyes. "A human owns you," a voice said. "You are weak." Kale tried to speak, but no fire came. Then another voice rose. Not loud. Not powerful. "He chose you." The fire changed. It'd been around Kale, not burning him. He woke up with a sharp breath. His fire flared bright blue. Ethan rushed in. "Kale." Kale held his chest. "My fire, it's different." Ethan nodded slowly. "I know." Outside the building, sensors activated. Not alarms. Tracking. Far away, in deep space, dragon signals moved. They felt something impossible. A dragon child not ruled by rage. Not shaped by fear, but protected by a human heart. Back in the city, Ethan received a message. Official. Cold. Council hearing scheduled. Guardianship under review. Ethan closed the screen. Kale looked up at him. "They will take me," Kale said. Ethan knelt in front of him. "Listen to me," he said. "No matter what happens, you are not alone." Kale swallowed hard. "What if they choose the law?" Ethan answered without hesitation. "Then I will choose you." Kale's fire responded. Not with flame, with light. Outside the window, something large moved through the clouds. Not human, not friendly, and not alone. The universe was watching closely now. A dragon raised by humanity was no longer a secret. Humanity changed a dragon's fate. The council chamber was silent. Too silent. High above the city, a circle of leaders watched from behind glowing screens. Human law, human fear, human history. In the center of the chamber stood Ethan. Beside him stood Kale. Small, quiet, a dragon child facing the entire world. "Dragon life forms are weapons," one council member said. "History proves this." Kale's claws tightened. He remembered fire, screams, running, being alone. Another voice spoke. "This child has already caused multiple security risks." Ethan stepped forward. "He caused none," Ethan said calmly. "Your fear did." A screen flashed. Images of destruction. Old wars. Burning cities. "Dragons did this," the council said. Kale looked down. "I don't want to be that," he whispered. The room froze. A dragon spoke. Not in rage. Not in pride. In truth. Ethan placed a hand on Kale's shoulder. "They taught him he was a monster," Ethan said. "I taught him he was a child." The council hesitated. Suddenly, the chamber lights dimmed. An alarm rang. Not human. Ancient. Outside the city, the sky split open. Massive shadows moved through the clouds. Dragons. Real dragons. Old. Powerful. Terrifying. Panic spread. "They're here," someone shouted. Kale felt them. Their fire. Their anger. Their fear. A voice filled the chamber. Deep. Ancient. "Return the child." The walls shook. Kale stepped forward. Ethan grabbed his arm. "No." Kale looked back at him. "They're my kind," Kale said softly. "But you are my home." The words hit harder than any weapon. Kale turned to the council. "I was born a dragon," he said, "but I was raised by a human." Outside, a massive dragon lowered its head toward the city. "Humans use you," the voice roared. "They will break you." Kale's fire rose. Not red. Not wild. Blue. Calm. Strong. "No," Kale said. His voice echoed farther than his size should allow. "They protected me when my own world didn't." The dragons paused. Kale continued. "I learned hunger alone. I learned fear alone. But I learned kindness from a human." Silence spread across the sky. Ethan watched, breath held. Kale lifted his small wings. "I choose humanity." The words shook the universe. The dragons felt it. A dragon choosing love over blood. Choice over instinct. The ancient dragon spoke again, slower now. You are different. Kale nodded. So is humanity, he said. The fire around him expanded, forming a shield over the city. Not attack. Protection. The dragons pulled back. One by one, the sky cleared. The council stood frozen. History had changed in one moment. Finally, the lead council member spoke. The guardianship stands, he said quietly. This child is under human protection. Ethan's knees almost gave out. Kale turned and hugged him tightly. Ethan held him back, stronger than he ever knew he could be. Later that night, the city lights felt warmer. Kale stood on a balcony, looking at the stars. Real stars this time. You could have gone with them, Ethan said. Kale shook his head. They're my past, he said. You are my future. Ethan smiled. Far away, among the stars, other species watched. A message spread through space. Humanity did not defeat a dragon. They raised one, and the universe understood something new. Fire makes power, but kindness changes fate. Kale smiled. A real smile. Not as a dragon, not as a weapon, but as a child who finally had a home.